I want to make a different atmosphere for patients, for their children, for the staff. I think that if we have good art in a hospital, something challenging in a positive way, that it takes people's minds off, even for a moment, while they're there. I was having a CAT scan, and I was afraid, and I wanted to get out of the room. And as I was on a gurney with an IV, I couldn't get out of the room, so I imagined a Matthew Ritchie painting going up the side wall and across the ceiling. And when that was over, I thought, oh my goodness, that's so strong. I'd like to do that for other people.
I would hope that maybe a child would come to this room and they'd maybe get a little smile and feel that, this isn't going to be so bad after all. And I may actually enjoy this part of it.
To know that I could make some children less afraid is just the most wonderful thing in the world. Anything that we can do to make that experience better for them is amazing.
When you walk into a sterile room, it creates a feeling of fear, of coldness. That's certainly not conducive to healing. When you walk into this room, I think it's much more conducive to a warm and healing process. A CAT scan machine can be very scary, particularly to a child, but to an adult as well. I think this machine is much more playful than scary.
Having the monkey faces on the scanner, I think creates a very optimistic situation, something that a child wouldn't be so frightened by, that it feels more like this would be like an amusement park ride, something that's a fun experience, not something to be frightened of.
They're going to be so diverted by all the visual stimulation that they're hardly going to have time to be afraid of this test. Instead of just putting a few pictures on the wall that the children might or might not look at, we have a complete environment. You can't help but become involved in it and absorbed by it.
It helps the children feel better, and it probably even helps with the scan. When the children come in here, if they're very fearful, they're not going to hold still, and the images may be degraded because they're going to have to move a lot. So if I can simply have them be calm and playful versus being scared, then I think I've really made a big difference in actual their medical care, not just in the way they feel.
I'm really excited that you've agreed to do a project for us at Kings County. It's these waiting rooms that you saw them, they're completely bleak, and now they're going to be filled with M&M pictures.
Especially for kids, there's this simplicity for them to understand that it's like made with a M&M. It's just such a basic thing, which is like, how people look at art really it's just that. It needs these things that kind of push and pull each other. And so for the kids to have that little bit and say oh, it was made with the candy that I usually just eat, that I love to eat. And all of a sudden, somebody else takes it and doesn't eat it, and they do this with it. And there's just that basic thing. It's not everything needs to be what you think it needs to be. Focusing on a material that's a little bit alternative to usual art making practice. With the studs, they come from punk rock culture, and over decades, they've kind of been eroded into all these other cultures, There's all these different reference points for that material. Then from there, there's this abstract quality that I try to extract from the material. Similar to with the flowers, right? It's I'm picking this material, which people associate with spring and life, but also with death and funerals, and I'm trying to use it in a playful way until I let's say transcend something. In the hospital, it's going to change a lot of people's experiences every day, which is pretty nice, because it's not, it's not a place where 3 or 4 people come in. It's packed with people. And for me, it's not just I'll put up a picture in this room. I'm really creating something that's pretty similar to what I do when I make an art show. This is a complete environment. The M&Ms I've been working on for a little while now, but I haven't put them in any of my shows yet. I definitely haven't shown a body of them together yet. When we went over to the hospital, it just seemed like an obvious thing. It just seemed like it would just be great over there, and that the kids could really kind of relate to it, I think.
Our mission is to improve the hospital environment, inspire hope by giving people the opportunity to look at contemporary art, and this is going to do exactly what we're designed to do. I'm thrilled that RxArt is really catching on. It's a dream coming true for me. I hoped when I started RxArt that we could be all over the country, and that's starting to be true. We're in Memphis, Tennessee, we're in Boston, in Chicago, we're starting to work in California. I don't see any reason why there shouldn't be RxArt in every single city.